Okay, welcome Facebook family to Hot Topic Tuesday. Today's topic is your heart and drugs. My name is Tracy Sadawatari, community organizer with AADAP. I'm an organizer in the city of Gardena. So here we go. So just for relevance, so for some of you that may not know, February is American Heart Health Month. And since it is Heart Health Month, we wanted to demonstrate the correlation between drug use and your heart health and make sure that you understand how detrimental drugs and alcohol can be to the heart. And so that you can share this information that you learned today with the communities that you work with. So we're going to start off with a question. What are ways to promote a healthy heart? Go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself and answer this question, or you can type, if you're feeling a little bit shy, you could type your answer in the chat. So think about ways people can promote a healthy heart.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk.
Eat healthy.
Eat healthy. Julia, what's something that you do? What kind of meals would you prepare that's a healthy meal for your family?
A lot of vegetable, but I don't like vegetable, but I know what it's for my heart. But I don't like to eat vegetable.
Yeah, I like crispy vegetables. I don't like them when they're overcooked, but if they're nice and crispy and crunchy, they're good.
Yeah. I like to blend, smoothie sometimes, but I have to add with a little bit of sweet. That would be good for me. Otherwise, I can't.
Yes, you can make spinach smoothies, but add blueberries in there so you don't taste the spinach, right?
Yes, like banana also. I have to add.
Yeah. What are some other ways to promote a healthy heart?
For me and Shanti, we walk.
Oh, yeah?
Break. Yep.
Oh, walk. Good. In the middle of the day, that's great. It keeps your heart racing.
Well, 15 minutes, yeah.
15 good.
Minutes. Yeah.
Great. It sounds like you guys are all doing some great things to promote your heart health.
Yeah, and Tiffany put laughing. Sinclair was still talking about exercising regularly. Just saying working out and breathing exercises. And
those are all great things. I love the idea of laughing. Laughing really energizes you. It lifts your mood, and you just end up having a really great time afterwards when you're laughing and having a good time. So those are all great ways to promote your heart health. So let's jump.
And Erica emphasized, don't stress.
Don't stress. What, Erica, if you wouldn't mind, you could type it in the chat, but what is a way that you could limit your stress? What is something that you do to limit your stress or to deal with your stress?
Don't overthink, delegate.
Good. Those are good ways. Yeah. I have a tendency to kind of overthink and overdo, and then I end up paying for it later. So you don't want to do that. So with that, let's go ahead and get started.
Can I continue one more thing with?
Yes.
Tracy, you said you like about the laughing and make it heart healthy. That's kind of relate to me. I take half an hour lunch, and then other half an hour, I listen to music, to comedy, jokes. Then I laugh with them for 20 minutes, half an hour. Yeah, kind of relax, cool. And I don't want to think about work. I don't want to think about stress, pressure, paying tax or anything anymore. Just like focus, eat, and joke and laughing.
Great.
Yeah, that's one way that I try to cope my stress.
And Tracy also dancing, singing,
also singing and dancing. Yes.
Yeah. Also maintain a health heart too. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to come over to CAA and spend
Oh,
some
yeah.
lunchtime with you, dancing and
Yeah.
laughing and having a good time over
Yeah.
there. Sounds
We
like
don't
fun.
plan
Good.
the
Come,
CAA.
let us know.
Okay, let's get started. So one of the leading causes of hospitalization, if you didn't know, is cardiovascular disease and heart-related illness. It's not just related to drugs, but just overall cardiovascular disease in the heart. So there is, though, a prevalence of premature heart disease linked to drug use. Those who regularly use 4 or more substances are likely to develop a premature heart disease. Cocaine users are 2 times as likely. Amphetamine users are 3 times as likely. Cannabis and other drug users are more than 2.5 times as likely to develop premature heart disease. So here's a question for you. What organ in the body do you think of when you hear about excessive alcohol consumption? Go ahead and say it out loud if you want, or type it in the chat.
Liver.
The liver. Any other thoughts?
Lung.
Lungs, maybe?
Kidney, yeah.
Kidney, liver, lungs. Yeah, those are all most of the common ones that people think of. What you don't think of is that there is a link between alcohol and issues with the heart. There was a California study that found links between alcohol and 3 major heart conditions, one of which is atrial fibrillation, which is an irregular quivering of the heartbeat. And that can predispose, which means it can cause individuals to have blood clotting issues, suffer from strokes, heart failure, and even more. And there's another condition called myocardial infarction, which is just a fancy term for heart attack. And it can be fatal if left untreated. And this happens when a blood clot completely blocks the flow to the heart. And the third heart condition linked to alcohol, excessive alcohol use, is congestive heart failure. This is the inability of the heart to pump blood correctly throughout to other parts of the body. And all of these conditions are linked to binge drinking. Binge drinking, as you may know, is when a male will drink 5 or more drinks in one sitting, or a female will drink 4 or more drinks in one sitting in a short period of time. So those can cause really a big strain on the heart. And another important thing to take note of is that anytime you combine the use of antidepressants with alcohol, this can have a very serious side effect. And it increases the blood pressure to a dangerous level. And sometimes it could even be fatal. So, you know how they always say, don't mix alcohol with your medications. You really need to take heed in that and really listen to that advice. And also with alcohol withdrawal, the heart, people with a long history of alcoholism or a genetic history of heart issues or pre-existing heart conditions are more likely to experience arrhythmias, which are irregular heartbeats, heart attacks, blood circulation complications, or even seizures in some cases. So though it's important to, if you have a long relationship with alcohol and you want to stop, it's important to do so under the care of a doctor so that, you know, these issues, heart issues, can be monitored and that you don't really put too much strain and stress on the heart. It's better to stop the alcohol use, but do it in a safe way. So thinking about the effects of the heart to deal with alcohol, what do you think happens to the heart if someone were to use cocaine? Any ideas of what could happen? And Marlon, let me know if anyone says anything in the chat.
Pounding hard.
Maybe the heart beats
Beat faster.
pounds harder.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Damage the heart. Yep.
Well, one, we have a question of what is arrhythmias, and then also have Tiffany increased heart rate, irregular heart rate. And it was explaining arrhythmia.
Yeah, that's what an arrhythmia. Arrhythmia is an irregular heartbeat, which means it speeds up or it's not the normal static pumping of the heart. That's what an arrhythmia is. So with cocaine, oh, well, actually, let me go here. 1 in 5 adults aged 18 to 44 who had experienced a stroke in 2005 had abused illicit drugs. That's 20% of adults who had experienced strokes had abused illicit drugs. So moving on to the heart and cocaine. So cocaine, it's harmful to the heart in subtle and unexpected ways. It can cause increased heart rate, just like Sinclair said, increased blood pressure. The arteries around the heart become smaller. There's decreased blood flow within the heart, and it can also cause blood clots. So a lot of the damaging effects to the heart can lead to premature heart attacks and even death, especially if someone is unaware that their substance use disorder is damaging one of the most important organs in their body. What I found when I was researching is that even people without pre-existing heart conditions, they can develop heart conditions by using cocaine. And the effects of cocaine on the central cardiovascular system lasts long after its effect on the brain have faded. So the heart is affected more long-term than the brain with cocaine use. So in a study of 4,800 drug users that were hospitalized, 223 of them were admitted due to cardiovascular disease. That's 4.6%. So prescription drugs and illicit opioids. Opioids contribute to the likelihood of suffering from atrial fibrillation, and injection-based or IV drug use has been known to cause serious issues in the heart. Issues such as bacterial infections in the heart. When I was doing research for this, I found that because people are IV drug users are pumping the drugs into their veins, there's a chance for bacteria to enter the bloodstream, and then that in turn can cause infections around the heart, and especially in the area surrounding the heart valve. And physicians liken that damage that's done to the heart to looking like Swiss cheese, that the tissue around the heart valve becomes so broken down that it's a lot of holes, and then the heart valve has to be replaced. And even after it's replaced, if the drug use doesn't stop, then there's continued deterioration of the heart, and future surgeries may have to happen again. And also there's risks with opioid withdrawal, just like there is risks with alcohol withdrawal to the heart. Opioid withdrawal can also induce heart failure. So though you want people to stop using opioids, they need to do so under the care of a physician, because you want to make sure that the heart is being cared for. Other secondary things can happen, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that you're doing so safely. Of course, it's better to stop the drug use than continue the drug use. With methamphetamines in the heart, this I found really interesting, that heart disease is the second largest killer of meth users behind accidental overdose. Heart disease is the second largest killer of meth users behind accidental overdose. So that really goes to show that meth really does a number on people's hearts. It can cause a wide range of heart issues if abused, increased plaque buildup. That's the hardening of the arteries in the heart. And again, there's that word again, arrhythmia, increased likely of arrhythmia, irregular heartbeats. And it can weaken the walls of the heart's pumping chambers. So the heart isn't pumping as effectively, so the blood isn't getting to the other areas of the body that it needs to. So overall, it's just, it could make somebody even weaker from using it. So what do you think, what effects do you think marijuana has on the heart? Anyone, feel free to put it in the chat. Unmute yourself.
I would get something bloodstream.
Say it one more time, Marlon.
Affecting the bloodstream, the vessels, the heart, just because when you inhale it, it goes to the blood.
Okay. Other thoughts?
I think it should be the same as this one, as the med one. Probably have the same symptom as
Maybe
med.
similar symptoms, yeah. Arrhythmias, weakening of the walls of the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Erica put stroke in the chat.
Stroke, risk of stroke. Yeah. So the symptoms are similar. It increases the heart rate, blood pressure is raised, and Erica, you are right. There's an increased risk of stroke and other vascular diseases, especially in young adults. And a lot of the research is linked to smoking marijuana, not so much in other means of ingesting marijuana. It's mostly with smoking. And with smoking or vaping marijuana, you have the same effects as anyone would have with cigarette smoking as well. And the same issues with the lungs, because you're ingesting things into the lungs, foreign substances into your body. So here is another, oops, I didn't mean, pretend you didn't see that. What are safe ways that you can increase your heart rate? What are things that you can do to safely increase your heart rate?
Working out in the chat.
Working out.
Walking.
Walking.
Singing,
Yeah.
maybe singing too.
Singing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, I'm not sure about singing, but walking, I definitely, I think walking helping the heart rate.
I would think singing too, because as you're singing, you're probably dancing a little bit as well.
Yes.
Because there's a little bit of movement there as well. Anything else? Nothing else in the chat, Marlon?
No, nothing else.
Okay. So yeah, all of those are great ways to safely increase your heart rate. You don't want to do anything too extreme too quickly. You want to make sure that you monitor yourself and do things at your own pace, and don't overdo things with your heart, and do things in a fun way. You know, you could go for a run, go swimming, go for a bike ride, take exercise classes, go for a nice long walk, go for a hike. Those are all great ways to increase your heart rate in a healthy way. At the same time, while you're doing that, you're taking care of your heart. By doing these things, you're strengthening your heart as well, because you want to stay active as you can. You don't want to become sedentary and not do any of these activities. because that could cause a strain on your heart as well if you become complacent and not do exercise and things like that. So I did want to share some a short little video that one of our interns created. Hopefully you will be able to hear. Let me, hold on, let me take my headphones out.
If you smoke weed, it takes about 30 minutes for your body to feel the effects of
you guys hear
dopamine, also known as getting high. In 30 minutes, you can choose to be active to get that natural high instead.
So that was just one of our interns created that little fun video to kind of remind us to take care of yourselves. Can you guys hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I don't have my headphones in anymore.
If you smoke weed, it takes about 30 minutes for your body to feel the.
Sorry. So with that, do we have any questions at all? I know that was a quick overview or a quick presentation on things that can happen to your heart through drug use or overuse of drugs. Questions, comments? Something surprising that you may have learned today?
Richard raises his hand.
Yes, Richard.
Yeah, Tracy, my question is this, is it like one drink or, one puff, is it only if it's ongoing and continuous that it harms your heart?
Yeah, great question, Richard. Thank you so much. So with the damage to your heart, it's prolonged use. I mean, prolonged use, abuse of alcohol, prolonged use of meth, prolonged use of cocaine can cause even more damage to your heart. But the damage is starting that first time you take a puff or the first time you take a hit or the first time you take the whatever drug it is, you're doing some damage. But as time progresses, there is more and more damage. Hopefully that answers your question. Yes.
Tracy, I have a question.
Yes.
So being drinking is like you drink more than it's required, like continue drinking, like it's kind of like an addiction, is it or no?
Well, binge drinking, Julia, is when you drink, like for men, if you drink 5 drinks within a very short amount of time, and women, you're drinking about 4 drinks in a short amount of time, like within an hour. So that's binge drinking. You're consistently drinking in one sitting.
Oh, consistent.
Yeah, that's what's considered binge drinking, when you're drinking a lot at one certain time period.
What's the time? Okay.
Yeah, and then it could grow into alcohol abuse. It could grow into addiction as well. But that's the definition of binge drinking, is that drinking a lot within a short amount of time.
Yes, it can lead to addiction.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For example, like a college student, they like to drink a lot during the graduation or fraternity, sorority party.
Mhm.
They drink in a big container, like they call a keg drinking of
Yes.
beer. Yeah, that's binge drinking. I have witnessed quite a bit, but I didn't join to drink with them, but I saw them. It's terrible.
Yes.
But they had fun.
Yeah, it happens. And you need to be careful with that as well. You don't want those people going out on the streets as well, driving. after that. So that's another thing to consider. That's another whole nother topic that we could explore as well.
So binge drinking is for youth. It's happened for youth, right? Like teenager.
Binge drinking can happen in youth. It can happen in adults, young adults, anyone who drinks a lot of alcohol within a short amount of time is participating in binge drinking.
Yeah, I always thought that it's just for youth, but it's binge drinking.
no.
Adults should understand and know about that, but youth probably they don't. That's why I always think, oh, binge drinking is for youth only.
No, binge drinking can happen with any age, anyone who drinks a lot within a short amount of time.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Tracy.
But it is a lot of the young people, the youth, they do tend to binge drink because they think it's fun. They think it's funny. They think it's funny to see their friends acting differently than they normally do. And so they kind of encourage them, but hopefully that doesn't happen too much.
They like to challenge each other, who can
Right.
drink more and stand longer without vomiting and collapsing.
Right. You want to make sure
Yeah.
that that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
With that, I know this was a very short and sweet, to the point presentation. Anybody else have any other questions or comments you want to make?
No, Tracy, thank you. It's
Yeah.
really a good presentation.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you for
you.
joining
Okay.
us.
the information. Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy. Good presentation. Awesome.
Okay, well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us for Hot Topic
Thank you.
Tuesday.
Good information.
Yes.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
All
Sinclair.
right. Good day.
Right. Take care. Aloha. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you.